Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. We've got a very special guest with us this week, Samara Spencer. We've had you on a few times, so I'm really excited to get to have you on once again. And Samara, I want to start off by saying, let's talk about this season. I know you may not want to, but we do have to talk about the elephant in the room, so to speak. I don't think people truly realize how tough it was on you guys this year with the adversity you had to face, different players not playing in certain games, not playing stretches because they were hurt. I mean, how did you battle it and overcome it? Because I feel like people just really don't understand. You guys didn't have a full bench at all times of the season.
Honestly, I would say it was pretty tough, especially for us who have been here a few years and have been through a few teams where we've had kind of that bench that could come in the game and do things. It was tough. I would say that probably one of the hardest years that I've had here, but you can't get anywhere without adversity. And I feel like we kind of battled that and we overcame it. We got to the WBIT at the end of the year, which is still big, even though it's not the NCAA tournament. It was the first, I think it might have been the first ever year for the WBIT. And it's kind of like the teams who don't get into the NCAA tournament, that's like the tournament that, they can get into. And so for that being the first year and for us getting to play in that, it's always good to play postseason basketball, no matter what it is, because there are a lot of teams who don't get to play in late March to early April.
Absolutely. And to go off your point there, Samara, for people that don't understand, because the WNIT is still a thing, the WBIT is higher than the WNIT. Now they're taking that top talent and they're putting it in the WBIT. So getting a bid there is better than the WNIT, so to speak. So definitely congratulations there. Some love to you guys making that tournament. I know you guys would have liked to make the NCAA tournament, but really it was that last stretch of games that were the make or breaks for you. What happened there for you guys, in your opinion, as someone who was on that team? What happened in that last kind of couple of weeks of the regular season, that last stretch?
I honestly just feel like with everything that had happened, with a few of our players having to step away from our team and then a few of our players getting hurt, I honestly just feel like it was like wear and tear on a lot of our bodies. A lot of people had a lot of other issues outside of basketball going on that they couldn't like get through, I would say, not because of anything like that was their fault. It was just something that they couldn't multitask and do both at the same time. So I just feel like I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because, you want to be a team for the whole entire year and you want to have these goals and you have places where you want to get to, but things come up, life happens. And so we just had to deal with a lot of life things happening outside of the basketball world that a lot of people don't get to see.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know. That's why it's good to hear from you and get your perspective on that. Look, I know social media is a part of the game right now. You can ignore it. You can look to see what's out there. But there was a lot of noise about this team going on on social media, and a lot of noise coming at Coach Neighbors. I know you love playing for him. Can you talk about why you believe he's still the man to lead this program?
Well, I believe he is just because he's a people's person. So he's always trying to please everybody. And that can be a good thing and sometimes it can be a bad thing. And I feel like just this past year, it didn't really work in his favor. And it happens like that sometimes. Some people aren't, I would say, grateful that they have somebody like that in their lives. Some people take advantage of it. And some people don't really know how much effort and care he puts into wanting to please everybody. And so I just feel like a lot of the people who haven't met him as a person and haven't sat down with him and had a one-on-one conversation with him, about all the things that he's been through and about how he cares for us and how he wants to make sure we're all right before anything else. They could have a strong opinion about, not wanting him to be here anymore. But honestly, I didn't come here to not play for somebody who cares like that. I came here to play for somebody like him who cares in all aspects, not just basketball. And I would rather somebody care about me off the court than care about me on the court because of my abilities and what I can do. He always makes sure that, we're all in the right headspace. Our daily lives don't affect our basketball lives. And when they do, He gives us a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen to. So just him being a personable coach, making sure that we're always all right. A lot of people don't get to see that side of him, and he doesn't make it an emphasis for those people to see that side of him because, everybody's going to have their own opinion. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're having you on to talk about this, because you can talk about that side of him that maybe not a lot of people get to see. And so I appreciate you for answering that question. Before I turn it over to Kevin, I have one more question for you. We've talked about the negative, and I hate to even bring this one up either, but I have to. Michaela Daniels is leaving, and it doesn't feel right. I hate even saying it because we've seen her play her last game in a Razorback uniform. I know how close you guys are, still are. What does that mean to you that she's not going to be here next year?
I've kind of been thinking about it a lot. I'm trying to see if we can find a way to get her like a waiver to play one more year. But it's kind of sad. But at the same time, I know that our relationship outside of basketball is what I cherish the most. And I know that, if I'm having some difficulty some days trying to be that leader that she was for us these past few years, I can always just send her a text and be like, hey, like, what would you do in this situation? Or, hey, like, can you help me out here? Like, I'm not really sure what to do. I'm kind of stuck. So just to be able to have that relationship outside of basketball to where I can send her a quick message, it's special.
I love that. Kevin, I'll turn it over to you because I know you have some questions for Samara.
I do. First of all, Samara, thank you. We love having you on. You knock it out of the park every time. So much respect to you. Glad to be back with you on here. I always talk about your numbers because I always keep up with you, watch your play, but then I look at statistics, and so it's an eye test, but the numbers speak for themselves. 3 years of solid production, but you're 13.9 points per game. So you've got to score. But look, 4.6 rebounds from the guard spot. That's a career high. You actually elevated that part of your game. Already a strong rebounder. 1.3 steals, also a career high. The 3.5 assists. You wear many hats as a player on the court. Talk more about that maturation and what you're going to be working on this summer to take it maybe to another level when we start talking about your senior season.
Well, I always want to just be able to help my team in any way possible. Some games I don't have to score. At the beginning of the year, I didn't have to score because we had somebody like Talia who could do that. So it was an emphasis for me to do other things because I wasn't really needed in that area. But then when we started SEC play, that was kind of, I guess you could say, my time to shine because I've been there and I've been through that. So I know how those games work and what my team needs from me. But the other things, they just come naturally. I've been playing basketball for so long. It's just like I have a knack for the ball. So whenever the ball's near me, I'm going after it. Whenever I think I see a pass, I'm making it. I actually have gotten a lot more steals this year. I will say that. My IQ just elevates every year, and then being around different people, playing on different teams. A lot of different teams bring a lot of different things, and so I feel like on all the teams that I've been on, I've been needed in different ways. And this year it was just the rebound and steals way.
And just follow up on that before I get to my next question. How does that translate as a leader? Because if you're able to be versatile and shift down as a scorer, do this and that, how do you think that conveys to teammates, even younger teammates, as they're learning? Yeah, you may have been the alpha in high school, but you got to learn how to play a team game now and may be asked to do several different things.
Well, I would say for my team, I lead by example. So if I'm doing certain things, my teammates would be like, oh, well, if she's doing that, maybe we should start doing it too. So I would definitely say just being there to be that example for my teammates so that, they can either follow in my footsteps or be better than I am in whatever the team needs. I feel like that's my biggest focal point this year that's coming up. And then this past year that we played.
Well, we've talked about your accolades, an all league player, certainly a leader, but and there's been some departures, but there's an in state player that's played. You faced her at Mizzou, at Arkansas State, in that backcourt who can bring her own share of goodies. Talk about Izzy Higginbottom, getting her in as a teammate, but also have you guys been in the performance center kind of measuring against each other, saying, okay, let's test each other out in here a little bit?
So yeah, I think it's great to have somebody like Izzy join our team and be a part of our team because her story's kind of cool. She's always been a diehard Razorback. She's always wanted to play for the Razorbacks and put on a Razorback jersey. So just to have somebody that, you know, isn't here for all the other things, they just want to play in a Razorback uniform. I think having somebody with that dedication and that focus is good for us. Just simply because we know that she's all in, because she's always wanted to be here and always wanted to play for us. And she actually told one of our coaches when she was on her visit that I was intimidating when we played them, which is kind of funny, but I guarantee you now they're on the same team, she's not gonna think that. But honestly, it's just great. She's a great person. I've met her. I've had a few conversations with her. And she's definitely gonna be bought in for us. And I feel like that's what we need going into this next season, is for everybody to be bought in and everybody to be interested in helping us get to where we want to get to.
All right. I was trying to pry some kind of one-on-one pickup situation out of you there from the Performance Center. You're not going to go there. That's a great teammate. But having said that now, and I'm going to wrap up with this. There's got to be a belated happy birthday wish we can throw out to somebody. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about? Can you say his name and what he means to you?
Uh, Ramon, my agent.
My
His
guy,
birthday
your
was
agent.
yesterday. Yes, his birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's my guy. I'm his favorite point guard, so he says. I hope he tells
Oh,
other
yeah.
people that and not just me. But just being able to have been his first female client, and then him bringing in Tisha Penataro, who, you know, is has a lot of connections on the WNBA side. They're looking out for me and my future, even though it doesn't seem like it's that far away. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that close. It is close. And so just having them bring in people to help me and to also help build their brand is truly special. And you know, those are my people. I'm just glad that they decided to bring me on as a client. And you know, after this whole college stuff is done, they're still going to be there for me, which I'm grateful for. So,
Look, Ramon's a great guy. We've become good friends, and I can promise you, you are his favorite point guard. There's zero doubt about that. And we both think a lot of you. I want to thank you again before I turn it back over to Courtney. Thank you for all these opportunities to have you on, because I'm telling you, your nails every time, man. I look up to you. I could do better. I'm modeling after you now.
thank you.
Listen, I love having Samara on because she's not afraid of any questions. She answers the tough ones, and she's just like, listen, throw whatever you got at me. And I love that. Look, Samara, I'm going to have some fun with you at the end here. I'm sure you have heard all of the craziness surrounding a new head men's basketball coach at the University of Arkansas, and Coach Calipari. You being around the game for a long time, myself being around the game for a long time, I know he is a guy that I just can't believe is still here at Arkansas. How do you feel about that coaching hire? Can you talk about him a little bit?
The fact that we share a building is what makes me more ecstatic, because I'll probably have a better chance of seeing him than most people do. But I'm just excited for, you know, his journey and what he can be able to bring to Arkansas basketball. The players that he can bring here, the winning that he can bring here. He's a great coach. I've watched Kentucky play for a majority of my life since I've been watching, because I've always watched college basketball. And I feel like he's an even better person from what my coaches have told me, because, you know, they're pretty good friends with him. And from what I know, he supports women's basketball. So I'm excited to have somebody on the other side of the building, basically neighbors, who is rooting for us, just like we're rooting for them.
Have you met him yet?
I haven't. He actually is not in town right now.
He
So.
isn't. I did know that. But when he is in town, are you excited to meet? I mean, what's that first meeting going to be like?
I don't know. He'll probably come pop down in one of our practices, honestly. So, I don't know. I think it'll be like a starstruck fangirl moment for me, probably.
It was for me as well. So I totally feel you there, Samara. I was like, I can't believe he's right here in front of me right now. I get to ask him a question. That was so cool. But Samara, I love that. I love always having you on. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
Nothing in particular, but just the world. Just be kind to us athletes. We go through a lot of things every day. I mean, everybody does, but it's especially hard when we have to juggle school, we have to juggle social media, we have to juggle our sport. And we see everything that the fans say. And it is tough sometimes because, we can't really respond like we want to. But I would just say, just be kind to us Arkansas athletes, because we're trying our best. Our coaches are trying our best. We're trying our best to perform good for the diehard Arkansas fans.
Yeah, I say this all the time on social media. You guys don't like losing. We get that, really, right? I mean, you'll say it here, right here for everyone. You don't like losing, right, Samara?
Not at all. And after games is the hardest part. Going back home, winding down from the games and then thinking about it all over again. It's tough. And, people come to spectate at the games and they leave and they don't really think about it anymore. And, we have to go home, think about it the next day at practice, think about it the week after when we have another game. So, it does weigh heavy on us, especially for a lot of people who are competitive and who don't like to lose. I know I don't, but there are just a lot of challenges when it comes to sports, and nobody's gonna, besides South Carolina, have a perfect record. But most of us are trying. We're trying to have more wins than losses. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, I did think of one more question. You brought up South Carolina here. How did you enjoy watching the women's tournament? It's crazy how many people reached out to me personally and said, I am having more fun watching this women's basketball tournament than I am watching the men's. I mean, how great is that for the game?
It's amazing, honestly. I just hope that can also translate to watching us women's basketball of Arkansas play. I think that, will be exciting to watch too, but you never know until you actually come and watch. So
I love it. That's exactly how we'll end it. Go out, support this women's basketball team. Go out and watch them next season. Hey, still a lot of recruiting to do, Samara, so we might have to get you on when Neighbors picks up a couple of more people. Is that okay? We might have to get you back on.
Perfectly fine. Can't wait for everybody to see what we have cooking.
I love it. Thank
Our
you.
special correspondent. Much respect as always, Samara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samara, you were awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're going to have much more coming up after the break. Stay with us.